Let's hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Jo here of SportsGrid. It's time for Pocket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV. We got an absolutely loaded slate out there today. Hopefully, you guys made some freaking money yesterday. Let's try to do it here again. Now, we've got to talk about the massive trade that it went underway yesterday and what I think we're going to look for a lot of movement in the future. Now, I don't think the Colorado Avalanche are done. We saw Mikko Rantanen, a player I didn't think Colorado would trade, but he's kind of been in the shadows of Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon there in Colorado. So he was traded over to the Carolina Hurricanes. The Canes then did trade a couple of players over to the Avs. I think the Avs are going to start picking up some players, and the Blackhawks did send Taylor Hall over to Carolina. So from Chicago, we know there was so many talks around him. We knew that he was coming up for a trade. So huge moves out there. Picks have been traded. We're also seeing the Chicago Blackhawks retaining $4.62 million of Rantanen's cap hit. So it's crazy what's going on. There's talks of Sidney Crosby, you guys, getting moved from the Pittsburgh Penguins. I tell you, March 7th, I believe, is the trade deadline. It's going to be a crazy one. So Rantanen instantly makes the Carolina Hurricanes a playoff Stanley Cup contender out there. Top 10 and forward, top 10 skater. You look at him, third straight season on pace to hit 40 goals and 100 points. And I do think he gives so much to this team. He's going to be their instant scorer. Joining that line with Sheznikov and Sebastian Aho is going to be fantastic with what we see out of the Carolina Hurricanes. Hopefully this takes away some of their road inconsistencies. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Carolina in action today, I'm avoiding at all costs. The Chicago Blackhawks, with Taylor Hall off of this team, I'm not worried about avoiding them when they play their games. The Colorado Avalanche, still question marks on who will be out there. Martin Nextchess, I always say his name wrong. Not sure if he's going to be playing for them. Now, he was moved from Carolina, top forward, and I like the way that he is quick, fast, skilled. He will add to the Colorado Avalanche. His style of play really will add to them. Now, the other forward that they got from the Carolina Hurricanes, Yuri, he's a fourth liner center. He will add depth to this team. Now, they did get 2025 second round pick from the Carolina Hurricanes, as well as a 2025 fourth round pick, 2026 fourth round pick from the Carolina Hurricanes as well. So they have some picks now. They also have these two players, but I think they're not done. I do think more players will be on the move. There was talks that the Avs were thinking of dealing Nathan MacKinnon as well. Not sure if that is all rumors, but you guys, this is going to be crazy with what we're seeing out there. So who won in this? I really do think the Carolina Hurricanes won. Getting Rantanen is just insane that they were able to get him. I didn't think Colorado would part with him. So love to see that. Happy Saturday, Matt, to you. Move Crosby tonight so that my Kraken can have a chance. Well, yeah, and you look at these players, and if they're playing, you're going to see the step up. If they're not playing and, the team is in turmoil is the word, I think Colorado will be. Without Rantanen, you look at that. You sold off a huge piece of your team. You got to wonder how these teams are going to come out. So that is where, no, I can't touch the Colorado Avalanche tonight. And that's the game we're going to kick off first with. It hits at 110 here. So I doubt any of these players that were traded from Carolina will hit the ice. We don't have any confirmation either way. The Colorado Avalanche are a minus 150 favorite. There's no way I'm touching them here. With the line shifting without Mikko Rantanen in the lineup, yes, you're going to see Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon really step up, but it's not worth laying minus 150 on this team. The Boston Bruins at plus 125 at home. We got a home dog, you guys, and you know I love a home dog. So total of 5.5 in this one, minus 120 to the under. Or sorry, to the over in this one. Minus 120 to the over. So when we look at it, Mackenzie Blackwood expected and a Swayman expected for Boston. Boston is off that win versus the Ottawa Senators on Thursday. They were able to shut them out, getting a 2-0 win. When we look at Colorado, they've been kind of spinning right now. They've lost their last two. They got that last loss in OT to the Winnipeg Jets, 3-2. They're going to look to stop the bleeding. This is the first game of the 3-game road trip for them. First night of a back-to-back as well. They're at the Rangers tomorrow. So this is a battle here. Fourth team in the Central of Colorado, fourth in the Atlantic of the Boston Bruins. The Bruins with the price at home, it's where I have to go. I just don't love what we see with Colorado with the trade of Mikko Rantanen, with the lines changing. I just don't love what I think we'll see out of them in this one. A lot of these players are going to be shocked and rattled that Rantanen was traded. Now, the Avs also in Boston have not fared well, only winning one of the last 5 meetings in Boston. So, you look at that, you look at the trade, and the books want us to lay minus 150. I just can't get there. They're also 1-6 or 1-5 in the last 6 meetings overall versus the Boston Bruins. So Bruins really have had the number of the Colorado Avalanche. Give me the Bruins with that plus money. Again, the Boston Bruins coming in at plus 125. It was plus 112 earlier. Now, they did win back in October 5-3, so I know people expecting Colorado to answer back, but I'm not buying into it. I do think if you look at players to make an impact in this one, Pastrnak, so strong out there for the Boston Bruins. Pastrnak for the anytime goal coming in at plus 125. He's been red hot, you guys. In the last 10 games, 10 goals and 8 assists. 18 points in 10 games is absolutely outstanding. So looking at David Pastrnak for the goal, plus 125. The 2+ points, I don't hate either, but it is Mackenzie Blackwood in net tonight for Colorado or today. So that is a hard one for anyone to get those points on him, but I could see Pastrnak get a goal and an assist. Now, when we look at Nathan MacKinnon on the other side, MacKinnon, so competitive out there. He's going to be trying to shake out the fact that Rantanen is off of this team. So Nathan MacKinnon for the goal, plus 125, 5 goals and 6 assists over his past 10. Now, Martin Necas here, that was traded over from the Carolina Hurricanes. Like I said, he's going to be impactful for this team, and I really do think he's going to be strong for this team. I just don't think, one, he plays today because he was just traded yesterday, and 2, we're going to wait and see what he's able to do, but he will be a good addition to them. Their other forward, like I said, is a fourth line center, while he was for the Carolina Hurricanes. So it will be interesting to see where they inject him in the lineup. But I do think we will see him have success as well. So could we see more on the move? Yeah, I think Colorado is definitely in a situation where they might lose another big guy and trade for a couple more pieces out there. So it's going to be really interesting. Let's look at the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins are rolling in at minus 113 here versus the Seattle Kraken. Now, the Penguins are minus 113. All of these rumors around Colorado going after Sid. Okay, so how's Sid going to come out and perform? Sid is going to come out and perform his best no matter what. Sidney Crosby is an absolute stud out there on the ice, and he is so connected to Pittsburgh. I really will be shocked if he gets moved, not for the Pittsburgh Penguins organization reasons, but for Sidney Crosby, for himself. He's loved playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he has for it feels like a lifetime. So to see him go would be absolutely shocking to me, but also Sidney Crosby deserves to be on a team that has every ability to make a run for the cup. So if he's traded over to Colorado, I'm going to be super excited. He's already in the lineup. It is crazy to see Necas already in the lineup for the Colorado Avalanche tonight. Looking at those adjustments on the line, it's going to be crazy to see. Okay, that is your lineup with Nathan MacKinnon. Wow. They quickly move those players and they get so Nathan McKinnon I'd still look at for the goal. He's going to have look at the connections between these players and they're fantastic out there on the ice. You could see that connection right away between them, or it could take a little bit of time. I'm still pretty confident in Nathan McKinnon for the goal. So looking at it's crazy, right? The Bruins could be done. Let's stay off the Bruins. Let's just stay off of that game, you guys. That is going to be an insane game to see those players out there and what they come with. Take Nathan McKinnon for the goal. Take David Pastrnak for the goal. We know we don't trust Swayman. We trust Blackwood. God, it's going to be complete chaos. That one kicking off at 1:10 Eastern, you guys. I'm off the Bruins. I got a bet. I'm going to go hedge my bet somehow after the show, but that is going to be absolutely insane. Netch's already in that lineup. Okay, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Seattle Kraken. Let's jump into this one. Like I said, you guys, the Seattle Kraken, minus 106 on the money line, minus 113 for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Total of 5.5. Now, I look at how these teams come into this game. We have the Pittsburgh Penguins off the loss to the Anaheim Ducks, and we have the Seattle Kraken being shut out in their last game versus the Washington Capitals. That was on Thursday, 3-0. When I see teams off embarrassing losses and shutouts, I love to look at that first period. That is where I'm going in that first period, looking at the overs, looking at their ability to hit these goaltenders nice, quick, hard, and fast to get up on the board. Now, both of these teams have the ability to. We know the Pittsburgh Penguins, out there on the road, they really do trend to that over in the first period. They get up in these games, and then they let them go. So this isn't a team that I want to take for the full game. But I do think even though they're 1-5 in the last 6 meetings versus the Seattle Kraken, they can get up in the first period. So if you want to look at a first period bet, I could see a 2-1 style game, especially if Jared McCann is out of the lineup here for the Seattle Kraken. Now he is still listed as a day-to-day. He's hugely impactful for this game, 14 goals and 22 assists for 36 points in 49 games. So definitely strong playmaker out there. If he's not on the ice tonight, I do think it's going to be a hard game for Seattle to be able to get the goals. So I do think they have the opportunity to score in the first, no matter what. And after being shut out, because they're going to dig nice and deep. But I also think the Pittsburgh Penguins have the ability to put up 2 goals in the first period themselves. So the over 1.5 goals in the first period is coming in at minus 110. If you just want to take the Pittsburgh Penguins on the puck line in the first period, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I like the over 1.5 more, especially when we're getting it at minus 110. But if you do think both teams are going to score, which has every ability to hit, I love teams that are shut out in their last game to come out so strong. This is going to come down to Jared McCann. If Jared McCann is on the ice tonight, you guys, this is going to be a game where I take both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 188. Without knowing right now, Jared McCann is going to play because right now he's injured. Undisclosed day-to-day is his listing. I will only hit the first period over 1.5. So whichever way you want to go with that, let me know what you're thinking in that one. But I do like both teams to score in the first period between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Seattle Kraken. I am glad you made money with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Winnipeg Jets. Makes me so happy to hear that you guys are cashing with me out there. Let me know also if you guys are following the live betting in the NHL. I always try to recommend where I'm looking, what I'm hoping to see out there. If you guys don't want that because you're not live betting these games, then I'll just leave that out. So let me know what you guys want. I want to make sure that this show is efficient as possible, fast as possible for you guys to get all that information. So if it's not information you guys want, let me know. But I do live bet these games, and that's exactly what I'm looking for when I'm telling you and where I'm going to jump in. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But different situations for ways to jump in is always what I'm looking at. Because, of course, I'm on In-Game Live. And make sure you do join me from 4 to 8 Eastern tonight on In-Game Live over on the grid with Scott Wetzel. We'll be talking not only hockey, basketball, college basketball, everything that's going on the divisional games for tomorrow to get you a jump start on those. And then tomorrow I'll be live for the second game of the night. Okay, the Buffalo Sabres taking on the Edmonton Oilers is our next game. The Buffalo Sabres off a loss to Calgary. That was one where, Buffalo was rolling into Calgary. They had won the last 3 meetings versus the Calgary Flames. but it was Dustin Wolf in net. Dustin Wolf has been lights out in Calgary. Calgary's been so strong behind him. We saw Jonathan Huberdeau get the goal, and we saw Nazem Kadri finally stepping up. Nazem Kadri struggles on the road, but at home he's hitting at a 62, 63% clip to be able to get on the board, point or goal. He was able to get the goal in that last game, 5-2 win. So that means the Sabres coming in off a 5-2 loss. They're almost a $2 underdog in this one, and the Edmonton Oilers minus 245. Plus 198 for the Sabres. I definitely think is worth a sprinkle, and we're going to get into why here. The Sabres plus the 1.5 on the puck lines minus 125. So you're going to have to lay juice. Edmonton goes up first. This will be the live betting situation I will be jumping in on. I will be taking the Buffalo Sabres for more plus money if Edmonton goes up 1-0. I expect Edmonton to go up 1-0 and us to be able to come back in on the Sabres plus 1.5 at plus 140-ish. That's where that price should be. Now, will I be coming back in on the money line? Hell yeah, I'll be coming back on the money line. 2-1 right now. I will take a half a unit on the money line and a half a unit on the plus 1.5. I will then save the other full unit because I'll put 2 units on the Buffalo Sabres tonight. Call me crazy. Yes, Nathan McKinnon's out of the lineup, Connor McDavid's out of the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers, but that's not why. I'm looking at Edmonton's schedule. So total 6.5 in this one, minus 110 either way. Edmonton's schedule has been absolutely brutal. Now they're facing a team sitting 8th in the Atlantic. They're 2nd in the Pacific, 16-8-1 at home. Looks like an easy win, right? It looks that way. Since January 13th, we're now January 25th. They played the Vancouver Canucks twice, once on the road and once at home. We know they lost that game on the road. That was the game Connor McDavid got suspended. They got payback in that last game. That was just the other day. That was Thursday? They won that one 6-2. Dominated Vancouver. It was a scrappy, hard-hitting game. So they played Vancouver twice. They played the Capitals at home. They played Colorado and the Wild on the road and the Kings at home. Look at those opponents they've had to face over the last 12 days. It's been a brutal schedule out here for the Edmonton Oilers. Now they get a lower opponent here on their last game of 4 games out there on the road, sitting 1-2 right now. They're home versus the Bruins on Tuesday. We're going to see the Buffalo Sabres dig freaking deep in this one. The underdog's gone 10-4 in the last 14 meetings, you guys. James Reimer in net. He's going to have to stand freaking tall between the pipes so Edmonton doesn't get off to that lead and blow them out of the water right away in that first period. He's won 5-1, but he does have a 2.67 goals against average and 891 save percentage. So not really where I want to see it. But when we look at Skinner, he's got an 899 right now. He hasn't been as great as it really reflects in his record, 18-11-3. He's got a 2.71 goals against average. So Leon Draisaitl, we know, steps up without Connor McDavid on the ice. He is your go-to player. Hyman has been looking fantastic as well. So if you want to look at either of those players, if you want to look at Edmonton to score the first goal, absolutely. If you want to look at the over 1.5 in the first period, both teams to score in the first period, hell yeah, I will sign up for that as well. I don't want to put more than 2 units on this game, and I do expect Edmonton to go out first. So if I was really breaking it down a little bit more, I'd put a quarter unit on Edmonton for the first goal of this game, and then I'd put a quarter unit on the puck line for the Sabres. I'd put a quarter unit on the over 1.5 and both teams to score, because I do think the Sabres end up scoring in the first period as well. And then I want to come back in on that full unit, half unit for the Sabres and half unit on that money line. So that is where I'm going. If you guys understood any of that. Yeah, the Avs do have a great record versus the Boston Bruins. So Evans, a game time decision for the D for Seattle. Yeah, that is a big one for the Seattle Kraken in that game. I do think the Seattle Kraken have just struggled to score, right? So you got Jared McCann, questionable. Evans day-to-day, game time decision. Undisclosed reasons why on Evans as well. So you got to wonder what really is going on. Their center Chandler Stevenson also listed as day-to-day, upper body, so not sure what is happening with him either. The Penguins should win this in a 5-3 style game, but you look at the Penguins versus the Seattle Kraken, and that does give me a little bit of fear. So that's why I'm looking at that first period, you guys. Okay, so we've got through, you guys, this game here, the Buffalo Sabres and the Edmonton Oilers. Let's look at the next game, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And for Buffalo, we know they always get off to strong starts. So You can look at Buffalo, maybe first period. And if Buffalo comes back or comes up by 2 goals, Edmonton, they're going to give it their all in this game. So I wouldn't be worried about taking Edmonton +1. I think it's a 1-goal game. Okay. Next game on deck, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Detroit Red Wings. The odds on this one. Okay, the Tampa Bay Lightning are a -142 favorite right now over on FanDuel. The Red Wings are coming in at +118. Total of 6.5, -128 to the under, and we've got +104 to the over in this. Again, we've got another home dog here in the Red Wings. Cam Talbot is confirmed in goal, 12, 10, and 2 on the season with a 3.02 goals against average and a 902 save percentage here for the Red Wings. When we look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, it's Andre Vasilevskiy. Vasilevskiy has been so strong out there for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are off a win versus Chicago last night. So this is the second night of a back-to-back here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. That was a road game as well versus Chicago. They won that in a 4-3 style game. Second night of a back-to-back, like I said in the last game out here on the road of 4. That's a hard spot to be, but they are sitting 1-2 on the road. They want to shore things up, go at least 2-2 out there on the road. They do have Chicago on deck again on Tuesday at home. Now they have won already this season versus the Detroit Red Wings. It was a huge win by them. It was just like a week ago. It was on the 18th. They got a 5-1 win versus the Red Wings. They've only won one of their last 8 road games, though. The Tampa Bay Lightning, I just haven't been able to trust out there on the road. Now they're coming in as a favorite versus this Red Wings team at -142, and the odds have moved a little bit. They were a -135, so money is coming in. The Red Wings are off that win versus Montreal that I didn't see coming. I expected the Montreal Canadiens to be able to keep going as winning as an underdog. So the Red Wings put an end to that. That was on at home on Thursday. They were able to win that one 4-2. Now they have the Kings on deck on Monday. The home team between these two teams has gone 4-1 in the last 5 meetings. Major home ice advantage, not road ice. And we have seen Detroit win 3 of the last 4 versus the Lightning in Detroit. So it's not like these home games have been played in Tampa. These road games have been played as well in Detroit. So I do think they have every ability to get the win. I love the plus money on them. These teams trend to the under when they match up as well. 4-1-1 in their last 6 meetings. If I got to take a side in this one, it's Detroit or nothing with Cam Talbot in net. So like I say, you guys, you don't have to play every single one of these games. I give you picks, bets, predictions in all of them. If I'm telling you all or nothing, that's where I'm going to go because I will bet all of these games that I'm telling you. I'm not just going to tell you for fun. So, and plus, if you guys are cashing, I'm not cashing, that's not right. Let's look at the New Jersey Devils and the Montreal Canadiens now. Well, I want you guys to cash too, but I can't give advice and not take it myself. The New Jersey Devils are -178 here on the money line on the road versus the Montreal Canadiens. We talked about Montreal. We talked about how scrappy this team has been as an underdog, and they're coming in at +146. Problem is the New Jersey Devils have dominated in Montreal, so kind of dangerous to grab Montreal here, but you guys, I have to do it. +146. We got a total of 6.5, -128 to the under. So the Devils have rolled in, winning the last 8 in Montreal. We're not going to see Jacob Markstrom for a while between the pipes for the New Jersey Devils. He is injured, knee injury that was taken in the matchup versus, was it versus the Red Wings? I can't remember who he took the knee injury versus. We'll see Jake Allen. Jake Allen versus his former team. You got to love the storyline here for Jake Allen. Can he stand tall between the pipes versus the Montreal Canadiens? I don't think so. I don't have much faith in Jake Allen out there. I think Sam Montague is a stronger goaltender, and he will have success out there tonight. Now, in this game, I'm going to grab Montreal plus 146 on that money line. They've been one of the best teams coming out of the Christmas break, and I just can't fade them. 7-2-1 in the last 10 games, sitting 6th in the Atlantic. They're 13-8-3 at home. And we look at the New Jersey Devils, 13-9-2 on the road, so they do have a solid road record. They're off a win versus the Boston Bruins at home on Wednesday. That was a 5-1 win. They are at the Flyers on Monday, home Wednesday versus the Flyers again. So they have that road and home back-to-back kind of situation with the Philadelphia Flyers, and we are seeing Montreal off that loss to the Red Wings, 4-2 out there on the road. They have the Jets on Tuesday and Thursday versus the Wild. I think they can get it done here. Now, we did see the New Jersey Devils already win in November, 5-3 style game. Jasper Bratt scored twice in that meeting. So if you want to look at Jasper Bratt here for the New Jersey Devils, I don't blame you. I do think he can have success in this one. But Patrick Laine, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki have been incredibly strong out there for Montreal, and I'm just not fading them right now. Power play goals, I do think, can come into play for Montreal as well today. Dubas is confirmed for Montreal. Great to see Dubas in the lineup for Montreal tonight. I think Montreal can get it done. So Cole Caulfield, more like Cold Caulfield. Cole Caulfield will start to get back on that scoreboard. Don't worry about him. Yeah, some nights we're going to lose money on him, but he will bounce back. Let's see. Let's go, Canadians. Let's go. Let's get this money tonight. The Red Wings are definitely a barking dog. Yeah, there's a lot of home dogs today. No way the Sabres beat the Oilers anything. They do look awful on the ice. It is true. They've had their struggles out there. Kev, good morning. But I do think you look at the scheduling spot, you've got to know when to back the dogs. There's always a situation to back the dogs. You have to find an angle. You have to find a storyline. You have to find what these teams have been going through. That last game versus Vancouver was so emotional. And this is the last game without Connor McDavid. I can see the fall here, you guys. If you don't want to touch the Sabres, don't touch the Sabres. I think you either, like, if you really don't want to put like a full unit on anything, I'm going to be putting 2 units on the Sabres. If you don't want to go there, you can just take the Sabres for a sprinkle on the money line. Put a quarter unit on the Sabres for a sprinkle on the money line for giggles to see if we can get it. I think Edmonton has just played way too many hard games. We see it all the time. I wish they were returning from a road trip. I wish it was like a 5-6 game road trip. And the Sabres were looking stronger out there in net, but they haven't been. So it is a little risky to take the Sabres. Alex Tuch has been absolutely on fire, Brian. You're right. Take him for the anytime goal. I don't blame you. Okay. Let's look at Dallas. The Dallas Stars are taking on the St. Louis Blues. So Dallas is a -134 favorite. Here on the road, the St. Louis Blues at +112. You guys, the books are killing me with these home dogs today. You know I love a freaking home dog. The St. Louis Blues, Jake Neighbors, Robert Kyrou, so many players. No, Kyrou, Robert Thomas, and Jake Neighbors. So strong out there, right? I think this Blues team, and they have the ability to lock down. This one has a total of 5.5, -120 to the over, +100 to the under. The St. Louis Blues at +112, -134 for the Dallas Stars. You look at these matchups between these two, and the home team has won the last 6. So that is your strong trend. If you like that trend betting right away, it's the St. Louis Blues. But you also look at the last 6 games have all been decided by 1 goal, you guys. So whoever gets up coming back in live betting situation on the opponent, +1.5 on the puck line is going to make sense. Going into this game, it doesn't because you're not getting the value. 4 of the last 6 games have gone to overtime. That is too strong of a trend at +290 for this game to go to overtime for me not to back in this matchup. Casey DeSmith is expected tonight in net for the Dallas Stars. The St. Louis Blues will be able to hit Casey DeSmith. Binghamton already confirmed here for St. Louis. We know St. Louis 5th in the Central, 2nd in the Central here for the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars are also on their 2nd night of a back-to-back. They're off a win versus the Vegas Golden Knights last night. I still can't believe they ended up winning that. I was just screaming at my TV, hoping that Vegas would be able to tie it up. Jake Ottinger, if you did not see the replay of him denying that goal last night, it was outstanding what he's able to do on the ice. So go Google Jake Ottinger's saved goal last night. I tell you, you'll be thankful you saw it because it is lights out. So they're off the win last night versus Vegas because of Jake Ottinger just being absolutely insane in that 2nd night of a back-to-back. First road game of 2. They're at Vegas on Tuesday. So they have to go back and face Vegas on their next game. This game kind of sandwiched in the middle. And yes, it is a battle of the Central. So they're not going to look past the St. Louis Blues. The St. Louis Blues off a loss to Vegas. They lost that one 4-2 on Thursday. They have the Canucks on deck on Monday and then the Avs on Friday. They're not going to look past any team They're sitting fifth in the Central. They're going to give it all they've got in this one. Give me the St. Louis Blues plus money and the overtime bet at plus 290. Kyrou for the point. Yeah, I love Kyrou for the point. Kyrou is going to come out nice and strong. Kyrou, Jake Neighbors, Robert Thomas. Those were the names I was looking for. Sometimes I draw a blank in my head, you guys. I want to combine their names together because I'm so used to like just picking the line mates and then parlaying them that kind of flows off the tongue. Okay, the LA Kings versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus, a plus 150 underdog versus the LA Kings. The LA Kings minus 182 here on the money line, and then a total of 5.5. Minus 115 to the over, minus 105 to the under. Columbus has been a better home team than they have been a road team, 16-5-3 at home. And then we look at the LA Kings, and it's actually really interesting to see this team evolve into that true strong home team. Last season, it was out on the road. So last season, it was like Kings are on the road, bet them. This season, they've had a ton of road games. They're sitting 11-11-4 on the road, third in the Pacific versus that home record, 15-3-1. Just outstanding what they're able to do at home. But again, they're not at home in this one. Darcy Kemper will be in net tonight for the LA Kings, and Elvis coming in net, expected at least, for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now the Columbus Blue Jackets coming off that loss to the Carolina Hurricanes on Thursday. Big loss there, 7-4. This is a one-off home game off 4 games on the road. So not a great spot here. They went 1-3 though, so they would look to bounce back. They're at Vegas on Thursday. I don't love these one-off spots for teams. Utah on Friday. So they got a back-to-back loading out there on the road, 1 game home off a road trip. It's a huge red flag for me. It's not a bet on for the Columbus Blue Jackets. We still have Monty on the injured list with his wrist. Not sure when he's going to be back out there on the ice. It's been what? Since the 7th, maybe, of January since we've seen Monty out there on the ice. We have seen Adam Fantilli really step up with Monahan out of the lineup. So loving what we're seeing out of Fantilli. He got that hat trick a couple games ago. And then when we look at the LA Kings here, the LA Kings are off the win versus the Florida Panthers. Hard-hitting defensive battle. 2-1 win at home. First game of a road trip of 5. They have a long road trip ahead of them, you guys. They play the Red Wings on Monday, the Panthers again on Wednesday, the Lightning on Thursday, and the Canes next Saturday. Easiest opponent here is, again, the Columbus Blue Jackets, then the Red Wings, and then Panthers, Lightning, and Hurricane. Hurricanes now going to have Mikko Rantanen in that lineup. I tell you, the LA Kings definitely are looking ahead to the stronger opponents in this game. But one thing that's held true for the LA Kings, even though they're so strong at locking down defensively, they've been putting up the goals as of late. And I know in that last game, just 2-1 win, but in their last 5 games, 4 of those, they put up 4 more goals. So yes, that last game was lower scoring, but that was because it was versus the Florida Panthers. I don't trust the defense here of the Columbus Blue Jackets to lock down the LA Kings. So looking at the Kings team total, we're getting a plus money. Now there is a fear they get up 3-0 and then just completely locked down, but I don't think so. I think we can see them get that 4th goal. So over 3.5 goals is not my favorite bet of the whole slate, but that is where I'm going to go with this one. Over 3.5 at plus 112 because they have been able to do so. And these teams have trended to the over. We have seen Columbus be able to put up their share to push these games over that total. And we know with Columbus's strengths at home, they should push the LA Kings into getting 4 goals. I can see this being a 4-2 or 4-3 game. So very, very tight to that total if it's a 6.5. Right now it's a 5.5 at minus 115 because I expect the Kings to completely lock down the Columbus Blue Jackets, which I could see too, but I do think they sneak in 1-2 goals. So we're right on that number. If they sneak in 3, I'll be surprised. I won't be shocked though. Because they are so strong at home. So at the end of the day, favorite bet of this game is the Kings team total over 3.5. I love Kempe and Kopitar to come out, get those points again. Remember to parlay those guys. That's my favorite thing to go to when we look at the LA Kings. Look at Kopitar for the goal. Kopitar absolutely can score. Scott Wedgwood in net. That is not a good sign for the Colorado Avalanche, you guys. Boston takes. I'm going back and forth. I took Boston going into this game. Not a good feeling knowing it's Scott Wedgwood versus the Boston Bruins. So you guys, that is a dirty game. Nathan McKinnon, Pasternak for the goals. Just do that, you guys. That's all I want to take in that game. I'm really worried about that. I'm going to be interested to see how that one plays out. That game kicking off pretty quick here, you guys. Okay, the Calgary Flames taking on the Minnesota Wild. Calgary off that win versus the Buffalo Sabres with Dustin Wolf in net. He's expected in this game. Could we get Dan Vladar? Well, we absolutely could. We've got a total of 5.5 in this one, minus 122 to the over, plus 100 to the under. The Wild were disappointing in that last game versus Utah. I was screaming. Kaprizov back in the lineup. Didn't matter. They got shut out 4-0, shut out by the Utah Hockey Club. You guys, it was absolutely pitiful. Embarrassing loss for the Minnesota Wild. You got a Calgary team rolling in here. Off a win, 5-2. Nazem Kadri really stepped up. Huberdeau stepped up. They came out so strong. Nazem Kadri on the road, he's only hitting the points 45% of the time out there on the road. So definitely not your player on the road. Huberdeau, though, has been playing so strong. Now, Calgary at plus 130, do I want to touch? Well, if it's Wolf in net, I could see it. We're going to see Wolf in net expected at least versus Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury, we all love Flowers and what he's able to do out there. This is his last season. I want to see him get every single freaking win he can get under his belt before he finishes his career, even against my team. Flowers has been absolutely incredible over the course of what? How many years? It feels like 500 that Marc-Andre Fleury has been a goaltender. So off a bad loss here from the Minnesota Wild. Kaprizov in that game was able to get 3 shots on goal. You look at Matt Boldy, he only recorded 1 shot on goal. Like, where was he for that full game? Eriksson Ek was able to get 4 shots on goal. I'm looking at this one to stay under, especially if it's Dustin Wolf. Dustin Wolf in net, give me the under 5.5. Give me a goaltending battle between the young rookie here in Dustin Wolf and Marc-Andre Fleury. I really do think the Wild win this 3-2. I hope the Wild get Marc-Andre Fleury the win. I love what we've seen out of him. So Kaprizov needs to get going. We know Kaprizov with 4 shots in that last game, he should be able to come out nice and strong. So that's where I'm going. Calgary already won earlier this season, 4-3 back in November. You got Jamie Benn for the goal. I love to hear that. Jamie Benn came out so nice last night. I believe he had, 5 shots on goal as well. So it was a great one, David. Okay, the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Ottawa Senators. Let me just find odds. Again, all odds are over on FanDuel, you guys. So that is where I'm looking for this game. With 5 million games, sometimes it is hard to find those odds. This is a rarity, right? The Toronto Maple Leafs are rolling in as a dog. We haven't seen much movement, though, minus 105. Would I be shocked if this got to a straight pick 'em at minus 110 either way? As the day goes on, not at all. This game kicking off at 7:09 Eastern tonight, or 7:08. Minus 114 for the Ottawa Senators here at home. Ottawa has been one of the strongest teams in the league this season to the under, which is just nuts to think, because we've never really seen Ottawa be able to lock down so defensively as we have seen this season. Now, this one has a total of 5.5, minus 115 to the over. It's going to be hard for the Ottawa Senators to slow down the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're getting the Toronto Maple Leafs at nice value here, you guys. I am so tempted to hit Toronto here straight up on that money line because of the value at minus 105. We never get them this way. It feels like the books are begging us to do so, though, and that does scare me. The Leafs have won 4 of the last 5 meetings in Ottawa. Why are they not rolling in here as a bigger favorite? Anton Forsberg in net here for the Ottawa Senators. We're not sure what we're going to get out of him. They've lost their last 2. They got shut out versus the Boston Bruins on Thursday. First game home off 3 on the road. First night of a back-to-back with Utah on deck. There's red flags all over for the Ottawa Senators. Why aren't the books putting red flags on them and making Toronto minus 180 favorite? That is the line that I expected. Joseph Woll should be able to stand tall between the pipes back in net. They're off that loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-1 on Wednesday. So they're going to be hungry to come out strong and get the win. Like I said, they've won 4 of the last 5 meetings in Ottawa. 7 of the last 8 games between these two have gone to the road team. So that road ice advantage, we have seen the over in Ottawa hit in 4 of the last 5. I am nervous about this line because we're getting too much value on Toronto. Toronto should win. It makes sense for them to win. The books feel like they're begging me to take Toronto to win. So I'm not buying into it. Vegas is around for a reason, you guys. I'm going to stay off it. But I can't back the Ottawa Senators. It just can't get there. Brady Tkachuk. Did you guys see Brady Tkachuk's hit last week on, I'm drawing a blank on who the hit was on. He broke the glass. He hit them so hard. It broke the glass out there. Just absolutely crazy. But Brady Tkachuk is going to come out nice and strong. Batherson as well. Mitch Marner, right? Austin Matthews really steps up versus the Ottawa Senators as well. So many question marks on why the books have this line this way. I'll just take the over. Long story short, you guys, the over coming in at 5.5. I don't think the Ottawa Senators are going to be able to hold Toronto down. They're going to have to keep up with the scoring. So the under 5.5 coming in at -115. Carolina, I don't want anything to do with. Have you guys seen if Rantanen is out there in the lineup? Because we know Netches is in the lineup for the Avs. So if Rantanen is in this lineup, I tell you, the New York Islanders, they've got the weakest special teams out there, right? They can't score on the power play. They can't kill off a penalty. Carolina has been so inconsistent, but adding Rantanen to this lineup, and maybe it will be a situation where this team really, with the news that Rantanen is going to be in this lineup, they come out with that energy. Chesnikov, Aho come out just firing tonight. Now, Kochetkov expected in net for them, and Hogberg expected here confirmed here for the New York Islanders. The Islanders have been hot. They've won their last 3. They got that win versus the Flyers at home in their last game Friday. So that was last night, 3-1. Second night of a back-to-back here versus the Avs on Tuesday. And we have seen the Carolina Hurricanes, I want to say St. Louis Blues, I don't know why, win their last 4 home, their last game versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. So 7-4. So big win. Rangers on deck on Tuesday. With all of the trades, I don't want to touch this game. If I had to bet it, because of those odds, like you look at the odds here, Carolina. I think if you want Carolina to win and think they're going to win and come out with so much force and passion, they're coming in at -230, -1.5 on the puck line. It's not enough value for me at +116. I would want to lay the 2.5. Just go big or go home in this matchup. I really do feel. Can they win this 4-1? Yeah. They for sure can versus the Columbus Blue Jackets here. So it's going to be interesting to see versus the New York Islanders here. It's going to be interesting to see what they have in this game, how they're going to come up. If it was Sorokin in goal tonight, I wouldn't touch it at all. But without Sorokin, with Hogberg in, I do think Carolina is a safe play tonight. The Nashville Predators then take on the Anaheim Ducks. The Nashville Predators rolling in as almost a $2 favorite at -196. We have the Anaheim Ducks at +162. Total of 6.5. 6.5 juice to the under at -130. +106 to the over in this one. Saros expected here for the Predators. Dostal expected for the Ducks. We know the Ducks with Dostal, their defense and goaltending has been playing strong. Troy Terry, though, the playmaker for the Ducks, they are off a win. Pittsburgh, they beat 5-1 at home on Thursday. So they should be rolling in with some confidence. They're at the Kraken on Tuesday. Their home record, 10-12-2. So not above 500, but fighting to get there, sitting 7th in the Pacific. And when we look at the Nashville Predators, this is a team I love to trust to come out nice and strong in these games. Saros has been looking stronger. They've won their last 5. Thursday's win versus the Sharks, though, it wasn't an easy one. They had to fight their way to get that win. It was a 6-5 win versus the Sharks. They're 7th in the Central. What worries me the most here with the Predators is that road record. 6-14-4 on the road. How can I back a team as a $2 favorite with a 6-14-4 road record this season? I just can't. But when you look at the trends, the Predators have played very strong versus the Anaheim Ducks, winning 7 of the last 9 meetings. The road team has also won the last 5 meetings straight, and the Predators have won the last 4 in Anaheim. So we have seen the Predators have success versus the Ducks. Forsberg, you want to circle. Ryan O'Reilly, you want to circle for those points tonight, because I do think those goals will come eventually on Dostal. I think they make it hard, though. Dostal is strong between the pipes. So I'm going to look at the Predators' first period puck line. I think they can get up by a goal, but then I don't want to touch it for the full game because that road record terrifies me, backing the Predators at the price that we have to lay. So the Predators' first period puck line laying a half a goal plus 134. I need Saros to stand tall between the pipes in the first and fourth. The Preds to hit Dostal early, and then Dostal locking down, I think will happen. So looking at the full game under the 5.5, I like as well. So the under 5.5, and then the Preds first period puck line at plus 134. I don't think I'm asking for too much for these teams to just do exactly what I want out there, you guys. Let's move on to the Washington Capitals taking on the Vancouver Canucks. Logan Thompson in net here for the Caps, and the Caps, this team is so strong defensively and in goal with Logan Thompson. So let's look at the lines here. If I can find them. Yeah, there's the Washington Capitals. Minus 128 on the money line. We got plus 106 here for the Vancouver Canucks. Total 5.5. This 5.5 juice to the under at minus 128. Of course, it's juice to the under because that's the way that I really do lean in this one. But I think we take the Capitals out of the equation in case we get that empty netter by Ovi. Ovi, he's 20 goals away, you guys. He is on track. I definitely think he surpasses Wayne Gretzky this season. So excited to see history being made with Ovechkin out there. It's fantastic. So Demko was just eaten apart in that last game versus Edmonton. Edmonton just put like these light shots, it seemed. They didn't even look like high danger. I know they were, but 6-2 win by the Edmonton Oilers. Demko looked rattled. They will be at the Blues on Monday, third game on the road to start their 3 games on the road. Preds and Stars will be on next. So this is our last game at home. We have seen the Capitals allow some goals to come in. So, but not as many, right? Like, I just think you look at this one, they've only allowed what, 4 goals in 6 games. Three games they've been able to get a shutout win in the last 6. So some goals, but not very many. Can the Vancouver Canucks get 1 goal? Brock Besner, maybe JT Miller. So many trade rumors around JT Miller as well. It sounded like the Canes or the Avs were after JT Miller. So, you know, those players want to step up. The Capitals have already won this matchup back on the 8th. So just under 20 days ago, they won it 2-1. And I think this is another 2-1 style game. Maybe a 3-2 style game if Logan Thompson gives up a couple more goals, but I really struggle to see him giving up more than 2. Vancouver, their team total sitting at 2.5 minus 106 to the under, and that's where I'll go. I do think they struggle to get these goals tonight. I could see 2. I definitely don't see 3. So give me the under 2.5. If you're brave, and you got to be really ballsy in this one, ulted to under 1.5 goals for the Vancouver Canucks. I believe it's plus 280 when I looked. I didn't take it, you guys. I just stayed with the under 2.5 because I could see that second goal coming in. So Quinn Hughes has been the bright shining spot for this team, and we know they're still missing defenseman in Myers out there under suspension, just like Connor McDavid from that game versus the Vancouver Canucks. Looking at the Capitals, Dylan Strome, I think he can come out nice and strong. So Dylan Strome and Ovi will be my playmakers. First in the Metro here, look for Logan Thompson to really lock down. Sam Bennett, you're going to roll with Sam Bennett of the Florida Panthers. I like where you're going with Sam Bennett to the under. Yeah, Sam Bennett has been going under either versus the Sharks tonight. So we'll get into that. Canadians is risky tonight, still going with them on the money line. More 1K on the Canadians money line, Kings money line, and Capitals. Capitals, absolutely. Kings, absolutely. Montreal, absolutely. Sounds like a freaking winning night. That is for sure. So I will be thinking of you tonight when those bets cash. I really hope you make some freaking money. So let's look at the Florida Panthers. You guys brought up Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett is strong here for the Florida Panthers, but he hasn't been getting a lot of points on the board either. So Florida coming in at minus 320, biggest favorite out there on the board. Plus 255 here for the San Jose Sharks. Total of 6.5. Minus 130 to the under and plus 106 to the over 6.5. Looking at the Sharks, chaos right now. They've lost their last 5. Thursday, that last loss was 6-5 loss. So they were able to stay competitive in that one versus the Predators. We've got Bobrovsky expected here for the Florida Panthers. They're off a loss to the LA Kings on Wednesday, 2-1 on the road. So Florida off a loss is definitely dangerous. My concern here the most is Florida has Vegas on deck tomorrow. So this is the first night of a back-to-back. Vegas on deck tomorrow, the LA Kings back on Wednesday. I don't think the Sharks win this, but I don't want to take the Panthers for the full game, especially on that puck line, because that puck line for the full game is coming in -1.5 at -122. I just can't go there for the full game. It's way too juice. So the Panthers' first period puck line, laying a half a goal, +106. Awful loss. You know they're going to want to get up nice and strong. Now, could the Sharks come in and get a goal as well? Yeah, you know you got these playmakers, Toffoli, Celebrini, Will Smith. They're going to come out so strong in this game. And I do think they push Florida in this one because they're looking to break that losing streak. Can they win it? I'm not willing to put my money on it. The Florida Panthers have won the last 10 meetings straight. They have been so strong versus the San Jose Sharks. They don't look past them. They're also 20-6 in the last 26 meetings, and the favorites won the last night straight. That's all been the Florida Panthers. So I don't want to step in front of them here, but I don't want them for the full game. It's just not enough value. So the Panthers puck line, first period, laying a half goal, +106. Do they get up and then lock down? They absolutely could. So the under makes sense, and taking these players for the under on their points tonight makes sense as well. Askarov, I can never pronounce his name, is a net for the Sharks tonight. Okay, guys, that's the full show. 51 minutes. We gone over every single game. We're going to do the recap now. But don't forget, this Colorado game. Let's just stay off of Colorado, you guys. It's kicking off in the next 10 minutes. I tell you, Colorado -140 now. Okay, let's jump into the recap. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out for the last almost hour with me here on SportsGrid TV on X. If you guys can do me a solid, hit that like button, hit that retweet button. And if you're watching over on YouTube, if you can subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. For everyone just here for the recap, I don't blame you. 51 minutes is a lot of time to sit around and talk these games, but I really appreciate you guys that hang out, are in that chat. I love it. So yeah, Matt, we are seeing Wedgwood in goal. So that changes everything in this one. The Colorado Avalanche taking on the Boston Bruins. It's going to be a hard game here for Colorado. I don't want to take a side. Rantanen out of this lineup, of course, because he has been traded away. We've got the new playmakers coming in. You're going to have to see how they mesh together with Martin. I can't pronounce his last name, you guys. Netches coming into this lineup. So you got to see how they are going to look. He's going to be on that line with Nathan McKinnon. I'm going to take Nathan McKinnon for the anytime goal at +125. I think he can get the goal tonight. I'm going to look at David Pastrnak here for the Boston Bruins. Swayman in net. He's a hard trust here for the Boston Bruins. But the Boston Bruins at home, I think it might be worth a shot, you guys. I keep going back and forth, especially with Scott Wedgwood, +114. My favorite bets are just those player props. That is what I like best in this one. Otherwise, I pretty much want to stay off of it. The Avalanche has struggled in Boston. They've only won one of the last 4, so Boston does hold weight. The Pittsburgh Penguins and the Seattle Kraken. So many injuries here, so many question marks here for the Seattle Kraken. Not sure if Jared McCann will be in the lineup. What I'm liking right off the bat is the first period over 1.5 goals at -110. If we do see Jared McCann in the lineup here for the Seattle Kraken, again, he's day-to-day right now. Chandler Stevenson also day-to-day. Like, there's so many injuries. I would look at both teams to score in the first period at +188. If he's not, I would stay off of the both teams to score because I do think it will be harder for them to find the back of the net. And then just look at the Pittsburgh Penguins first period puck line as well as the over 1.5. Now I think Sidney Crosby can get on the goal sheet tonight, +175, 51 points in 50 games. So he is able to light the lamp. The Buffalo Sabres and the Edmonton Oilers. Again, I hate the situational spot here with the scheduling for the Edmonton Oilers. This is a classic letdown spot for me. And I know a lot of you just probably spat out your coffee going, how are the Edmonton Oilers going to lose to a Buffalo Sabres team that's sitting 8th in the Atlantic? Well, it's because of that scheduling spot. You look at since January 13th, they played the Vancouver Canucks twice. The last game versus Vancouver, they were able to get the big win. 6-2 at home. The other game versus Vancouver was out on the road. That's the game they lost Connor McDavid. That was a 3-2 loss. They also, in between that, played the Capitals at home. They played the Avs and the Wild on the road and the Kings at home. This is their easiest opponent since before January 13th. So this team has been through the ringer with these teams, and I do think we could see that letdown, because I think we could see that letdown. I like the Buffalo Sabres plus 1.5 on the puck line. I also like the Buffalo Sabres for a sprinkle on that money line, but I do think you're going to get better value live betting this, because I can see Edmonton going up in that first period, getting a couple goals. Leon Draisaitl steps out without Connor McDavid. And then the Buffalo Sabres fighting their way back. Tage Thompson, we know the playmakers on this team never stop fighting. So I do think Buffalo somehow can pull it off. The underdog has won 10 of the last 14 between these two. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Detroit Red Wings, again, value on the home dog here with the Red Wings. Give me the Red Wings at plus 118 with Cam Talbot in net. We did see the Tampa Bay Lightning win the last meeting between these two on the 18th, 5-1. I think this is sudden revenge angle. And the Tampa Bay Lightning, I just can't trust out there on the road. They won, one of their last 8 road games. It's just not the place for me to back them. It's also second night of a back-to-back. Last road game of 4 as well, sitting 1-2. So they're going to want to come out and get this win. I just don't think they get it done. The New Jersey Devils and the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal has been the hottest team since the break, and I am not stepping in front of them, even though they are off that loss to the Red Wings. The Red Wings breaking that streak of winning, their last 7 as a dog before that game. I'm going to take them here with the beautiful plus money at home. Jake Allen will be in net tonight for the New Jersey Devils, not Jacob Markstrom, because Jacob Markstrom out with a knee injury. Jake Allen versus his former team and the Montreal Canadiens. Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, Patrick Laine. Let's see those guys hit Jake Allen nice and strong in this one. Now, it is dangerous because the Devils have won the last 8 in Montreal, but I tell you, this Montreal team is feisty right now. Looking at the next matchup, the Dallas Stars versus St. Louis Blues. Again, value on the home dog, plus 112 here on the St. Louis Blues. Binghamton confirmed. Casey DeSmith on the other side here for the Dallas Stars. Dallas on the second night of a back-to-back after getting a beautiful win versus the Vegas Golden Knights, which Jake Ottinger was absolutely stud. Again, Google that footage of him making that save last night, you guys. It was fantastic. They won the last meeting versus St. Louis 2-1 in OT. In their last game. The last 6 games between these two have been 1-goal games. So if Dallas goes back up, I'll come in, even though I took St. Louis going into this on the money line, I'll come back in on the St. Louis Blues plus 1.5, because I do think at the end of the day, it is a 1-goal game. I like the value I'm getting right now on St. Louis. If you want to wait, thinking the Dallas Stars will go out first, you'll get better value on the money line and the puck line, of course. I just don't want to miss out on that money line because I think St. Louis probably scores first. I think the overtime bet is in play. The overtime coming in at plus 290. Out of the last 6, like I said, 1-goal games between these two, 4 of those have gone to overtime, including that last game, which was a 2-1 win for the Dallas Stars in OT back in December, mid-December there. The LA Kings and the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Kings team total over 3.5. I do think they're going to score on Columbus in this one. If you want to take the full game to the over, I can see why, but the LA Kings have been so strong at locking down, but Columbus has been a strong team at home. So we could see a couple goals out of them. Adam Fantilli's really been stepping up, but I do like the Kings team total over 3.5 goals coming in at plus 112, more so than anything. 4 more goals in the last 5 meetings. The LA Kings have been able to score on Columbus. The Calgary Flames versus the Minnesota Wild. I do think the Wild win this 3-2 style game. Give me the under 5.5 at plus 100. I think Marc-Andre Fleury, he's got to finish this season so beautifully here for the Wild. I love and hate that it's his last season all in one breath. It's going to be emotional to see Flowers not out there on the ice. And you look at Marc-Andre Fleury versus Dustin Wool, and I love what we're seeing out of the rookie. You know this is my team, but I think the Wild have the upper hand in this one. Nazem Kadri cannot come strong enough out there on the road for the Calgary Flames to pull off a win, especially when the Minnesota Wild were shut out in their last game. Embarrassing loss with Kaprizov finally back in the lineup to the Utah Hockey Club, getting shut out 4-0, and Calgary off a win versus Buffalo. So I will be looking at the Wild to win this. You could look at Reg if you want. Not enough value for me. Just give me the under 5.5. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators, it feels like the books are begging me and like screaming at me, take Toronto, look at the value. I can't buy into it. I'm going to take this one to the over in this game. Over 5.5. I think we will see this line move to 6.5. I know Ottawa has been so strong defensively and locking down one of the better defensive teams in under teams in the league. They either aren't able to score or their defense doesn't allow their opponent to score. It's not that they've got the best numbers on the defensive side. So I do think it goes over the total, though, because 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two have gone over. Austin Matthews is going to be hard to stop out there. And I do think Brady Tkachuk comes out nice and strong. And Batherson, now I will take the over 5.5. The first period over 1.5, I think, is a strong way to play as well. I don't trust Forsberg. And I do think Ottawa, after getting shut out in their last game, will bring the fire, but I'm not willing to lay the money here. The Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Islanders. I don't want to touch this game, you guys. No one can force me to bet it if I had to. Gun to my head, where would I go? Carolina. I would go Carolina, but with those movements in those lines, I take Carolina out there on the puck line. Like I said, I'm always honest with you guys of what I'm doing. I don't want to tell you to take Carolina on the puck line just because it's coming in at plus 116. If I had to, I would go there because I don't trust the Islanders. But with movements in trades and movements in those lines out there on the ice, I just can't take a Carolina Hurricanes team that's been so inconsistent, laying 2 goals, even against a backup goaltender here. And the Isle special teams, let's face it, sucks. So second night of a back-to-back here for the Isles as well. So it should be Carolina. They should win this by 3 goals, right? The Nashville Predators and the Anaheim Ducks. I do think the Predators' first period puck line is where you want to go. Lay the half a goal in the first period. That's coming in at plus 134. Saros versus Dostal. I do think the Ducks, Dostal has been strong, but they can hit him right away. And then I think we probably have a lower scoring matchup between these two with Saros and Dostal in net. The Washington Capitals and the Vancouver Canucks, another lower scoring game in which I think the Capitals do get the win. I think this is a 2-1, 3-2 style win for the Caps. So you are getting a good price here for the Capitals on the money line. I love the Canucks team total under 2.5 at minus 106. You look at Logan Thompson in goal, and he's been just stellar in net. He hasn't allowed those opponents to put up more than 2 goals on him in forever, it feels like. So I would look at the Canucks team total under 2.5. This team isn't strong at home. They've lost the last 2. They're coming off that physical game versus the Edmonton Oilers. Now, bright shining spot has been Quinn Hughes, and Brock Besner, I do think, has a solid game, but it's Dylan Strome and Ovi. I want to back the stronger team here and their playmakers, especially Ovechkin. And then the Florida Panthers versus the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks have lost their last 5. They're reeling right now. We have Florida on the first night of back-to-back with Vegas on deck. Give me the first period. Let me get in and out with the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers puck line, first period laying a half a goal at plus 106. They have dominated, and I mean absolutely dominated the Sharks, winning the last 10 meetings. So this should be a great game here for them. Ben, good to see you here. Thanks for joining me here on a beautiful Saturday morning. Rob, best of luck to you and best of luck to everyone out there. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me here on Puck It with Jo over on SportsGrid TV on X as well as over on YouTube. So again, if you guys can hit that like button, hit that retweet button, and I will see you back here tomorrow, noon Eastern, for another Puck It with Jo on SportsGrid TV on X. We've only got 4 games tomorrow, I believe. So lighter slate, faster show. Thank you for everyone who just jumped in for the recap. Thank you for everyone who hung out with me for the full show. The show wouldn't be as much fun if I didn't see your guys' messages in there. Again, drop below this video what you're liking tonight, what you're fading, what you're following, who you are taking for those player props. I do think we have a great night of some goal scorers out there on the ice, but there's a lot of games that are looking like they're going to be tight defensive battles as well. So again, that trade is insane. We'll see if those rumors about Sid are true. Look for him to step up tonight, though, and this to be a great day of hockey out there on the ice. Good luck in the Colorado Avalanche and the Boston Bruins game if you're picking a side. I took Boston rolling into it. I'm feeling so nervous. Less nervous, though, now that I know it's Scott Wedgwood. But I tell you, Colorado, they are preparing for something. And that team, they'll be rattled with Rantanen not on the ice, but maybe, just maybe they're getting Sid. So you guys, all the best in all of your bets. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks again.